On June 12, 2011, a team of astronauts, Jocinda Fowler, Brian Harper, and a new addition named Marcus, embark on a space shuttle mission to fix a damaged satellite. Suddenly, Harper becomes aware of a dark and mysterious swarm approaching them from out of nowhere. The swarm attacks the satellite, killing Marcus and leaving Fowler incapacitated. Fortunately, Harper is able to get back into the shuttle and return to Earth. Upon their arrival, Harper tries to explain what happened to NASA, but his claims about the swarm are dismissed. After 18 months of investigation, NASA concludes that human error was the cause of the incident, and Harper's story is widely disbelieved. Fowler, who was unconscious at the time, is unable to defend Harper during the hearing, resulting in his termination from NASA. Additionally, his wife Brenda divorces him and moves to New Jersey with their son, Sonny. 10 years later, a conspiracy theorist named K.C. Houseman sneaks into an astronomy lecture at the University of California to collect information about the moon's orbital activity, believing that it is an artificial megastructure. Later, while working at a fast food restaurant, Houseman receives an email containing information about unusual activity on the moon, which is rapidly approaching Earth's orbit. He tries to notify NASA, but receives no response. Meanwhile, Fowler still works at NASA and lives with her son Jimmy and their nanny Michelle. At work, she is informed that the moon's orbit has shifted, and strange gas is being emitted from a hole on its surface. With no response from NASA, Houseman compiles his findings and attempts to share them with Harper, who is teaching a class field trip at a museum. However, Harper dismisses him as a conspiracy theorist. In a desperate attempt to get his message across, Houseman throws all of his findings at Harper before being taken away by security. Following his divorce from Brenda, Harper now lives alone in his house. One night, he receives a call from his ex-wife, informing him that their son has been arrested for street racing. The next day, Harper tries to attend his son's bail hearing but becomes emotional and interrupts the judge, leading to a postponement of the trial for a week. Meanwhile, news of the moon being out of orbit starts to spread through social media after Houseman made his findings public. NASA independently discovers the anomaly and estimates that they have less than 3 weeks before the moon breaks apart, and causes debris to rain down on Earth. As panic spreads and people demand clarification from NASA, the agency denies all information to avoid causing chaos. But behind the scenes, NASA secretly launches a shuttle with a crew of 3 to investigate the anomaly. However, the mysterious swarm that had attacked Harper's mission reappears and kills all the astronauts after they drop a probe into a deep hole on the moon. Chaos breaks out worldwide, with looting and rioting everywhere, and people begin to evacuate and seek shelter. Brian decides to search for Houseman's findings and visits him to inquire about his theory of the moon's orbital anomaly. As the moon's orbit continues to deteriorate, it causes catastrophic disasters such as tsunamis, gravitational abnormalities, and atmospheric dissipation. Harper and Houseman are also victims of the tsunami. Fowler believes that the mysterious swarm is artificial intelligence and digs into the old NASA archives. She finds footage of Harper from the first failed mission and is approached by Holdenfield, a former NASA official who now works in the archives department. Holdenfield implies that something bad happened during the Apollo 11 mission, which NASA has been hiding from the public for a long time. It is revealed that Apollo 11 had discovered surface abnormalities on the moon during its landing, and a 2-minute radio blackout was meant to conceal how the moon resonated strongly when the spacecraft's fuel tanks were jettisoned, revealing a hollow interior. The military program codenamed ZX-7 had created an EMP device in an attempt to kill the swarm, but it was abandoned for budgetary reasons. Fowler asks the military for help to kill the swarm on the moon, but they instead agree to use a nuclear bomb, not realizing the danger it poses to humanity. The military evacuates all residents to a bunker in Colorado, and Fowler sends her son Jimmy with Michelle to the bunker. She contacts her ex-husband, General Doug Davidson, to stop the military's plans and enlists Harper's help to kill the swarm. Fowler orders the EMP to be brought out of storage and retrieves the retired Space Shuttle Endeavour to serve the mission. Before the mission to the moon is set, Sony is released from prison and taken to meet Harper at NASA's base. However, this is not the only catastrophe that they are dealing with. Fowler orders all her crew to save themselves first, leaving 2 NASA crew members behind. These 2 crew members find that Houseman's calculations of the moon's orbit are accurate, so Houseman is invited to join their mission as he knows more about megastructures than they do. Meanwhile, Harper tells Sony to go with Jimmy and Michelle to the bunker as they drive out of there. As the moon draws closer to Earth, the crew finally launches the shuttle with the EMP. However, a gravitational abnormality causes a massive tsunami that comes towards the city, but they narrowly escape it. Sonny's group also escapes a similar fate. They finally arrive at the space station to refuel the shuttle, but they cannot linger any longer as the moon draws even closer to Earth. On their way to the bunker in Colorado, Sonny and his group are robbed by a group of thieves and forced to walk. They are then surprised by a meteor shower, which is the moon's debris being shattered into pieces. They struggle to avoid the meteor shower while holding on to something due to the moon's gravitational shift. Eventually, they reach Tom's place and reunite with Brenda and her stepfamily. All of them have to go to the bunker immediately as the disaster is getting worse. In space, the trio finally arrives at the moon and drop a probe inside the hole to bait the swarm. Unexpectedly, they notice that the swarm does not want to touch the probe, but instead begins to attack their shuttle. Luckily, Harper immediately disables their electronics upon realizing that the swarm is attracted to the technology. When the crew enters the moon's interior with the shuttle's engines off, they finally realize that all the conspiracy theories which Houseman believed in are true. It turns out that the moon is a megastructure, and the swarm is siphoning off energy generated by a white dwarf at the center of the moon. After launching another probe, their shuttle suddenly flies on its own, causing them to lose control. The group is brought into a room at breakneck speed, rendering them all unconscious. Shortly after, Fowler and Houseman wake up, but they cannot find Harper. When they get out of the shuttle, they are surprised because the gravity there is the same as on Earth. Fowler believes that there are 2 separate entities on the moon, and one of them is trying to help them. Harper encounters the moon's operating system, which takes the form of little Sonny speaking to him. He learns that the megastructure was constructed by the ancestors of humanity, who were more technologically advanced than their present-day descendants. They created artificial intelligence to help their daily lives. The moon was constructed billions of years in the past as an ark to repopulate humanity, but one day it was being hunted by a rogue artificial intelligence that grew too strong. The swarm on the moon is one of those AIs, which responds to electronic activity in the presence of organic life. The operating system tells him that the AI can be defeated, but a human must stay behind to make it happen. Back on Earth, the thieves from before try to rob Sonny's group again, but they manage to restrain them with guns. As they make their way towards the bunker, the thieves chase after them. Furthermore, the moon's gravitational shift chunks of Earth's mass that break off the ground. They eventually reach a safe mountain tunnel after the thieves are killed by the deadly natural disasters. At that moment, the moon's gravitational pull strips the atmosphere of oxygen. Hence, everyone starts wearing oxygen masks while walking to the tunnel for safety. Unfortunately, Tom has to sacrifice himself to save his youngest daughter because her oxygen is running low. When she reaches her family, the oxygen starts to come back. Sonny attempts to find Tom. However, he is knocked down by a falling tree, pinning him down. At the same time, the President of the United States gives an order to launch a nuclear strike towards the moon. However, Doug refuses to carry out the nuclear strike order to save the lives of Fowler, Harper, and Houseman. Instead, he insists that he truly trusts his ex-wife and believes that she will save them all. Meanwhile, in space, we see Harper wakes up to reality. Harper encounters Fowler and Houseman and proceeds to inform them of his plan. Upon exiting the area, they discover that their damaged ship has been fixed, with the EMP weapon upgraded. Harper proposes ejecting a portion of the ship, containing both himself and the weapon, and firing it once the swarm consumes the pod. Although Fowler is hesitant about Harper's involvement in the pod, but a human presence is necessary for detection by the swarm. However, Houseman suddenly takes his place to sacrifice. Houseman feels that Harper has a family and is more worthy of living to continue his work as an astronaut, while he has a chance to do something great with his life by saving the Earth. Harper and Fowler say goodbye to Houseman, who ultimately entrusts his mother to Harper. He uses the EMP and the crew's lunar module to lure the swarm away from the shuttle before detonating the device. He then destroys the AI, killing himself and allowing Fowler and Harper to escape. With Houseman's sacrifice, the moon begins to return to its regular orbit, ending the destruction on Earth. Fowler and Harper safely return to Earth and reunite with Sunny, Jimmy, Brenda, and Michelle. The movie ends with the moon's operating system, which is a benign AI, revealing that it has stored a copy of Houseman's consciousness. It appears to him as his mother, who cryptically states that they are about to start something big in the future. I hope you guys enjoyed the explanation. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.